Chris,
Yeah.
you know it's spooky month.
Yes, that it is.
What did you at one point, like me, since we're both Chris's,
All right.
have a big wanting to look at every creepy pasta video that existed on the internet?
Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, probably a year ago, actually, because I used to watch creepy pastas as a kid.
Yeah.
But then, like, I think like a year ago, one of them popped up in my feed, and I just kind of went down like the iceberg of SCPs.
Indeed. So have I, back when I was a wee child.
A wee little boy.
We are going to rank some of the oldest creepypastas from my youth that I was super fucking deep into the lore as a tier system. Don't even worry about the tier system. I'm adding that in post. A, B, C, D, F. Did you know that most tier systems have A, B, C, D, E, and then F, but nobody ever uses the E? I always find that weird. This is one of the biggest, not the biggest one from my childhood, but have you heard of this one, Squidward Suicide?
Squidward. I've heard of it. I don't remember if I've seen it.
We're gonna briefly rush past the this video, 14 minutes long. We don't got that kind of time, but we could
I
get
got all the time.
we could get most. I don't have that kind of time from this. I remember some of it, so if we skip some shit, I might be able to fill in. We'll see us pop it though. This is an old channel back in the day when a bunch of fools did readings for creepypastas.
If you want an answer at the end, prepare to be disappointed.
That's Squidward.
There just isn't
No.
one.
That's not Squidward. That's Squigga.
Now, since I work directly with the editors and animators, I got to view the new episodes days before they aired.
Is the image zooming in or is it not? It feels like it is.
Yeah, it's like it seems like it's very
They had
slowly.
recently made the
panning.
SpongeBob movie,
Yeah, I
and
think
the
it
entire
is.
staff was somewhat
I'm freaking out already.
sapped of
This
creativity.
creepypasta's got me fucked up.
So it took them longer to start up the season. But the delay lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. Everyone had very realistic eyes, extremely detailed.
I remember, so basically, from what I remember, is that they were working on an episode of SpongeBob. Then during, I think, either the editing or some part of the process of the episode, it all went fucking tits up.
That isn't the oddest thing, though. What is odd is everyone had very realistic eyes, extremely detailed. Clearly not shots of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than CGI. The pupils were red.
SpongeBob was smoking that pack. Damn, I didn't know they put that in the SpongeBob episode. I'm about to find that episode.
Hit that doobie.
All of us looked at each other, obviously confused, but since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children yet.
Wait, so is this guy explaining that he was part of the team?
I think so, yeah.
Alright,
To
bet.
Squidward, sitting on the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. The view out of his porthole window is of a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part at this point is there's no sound.
Damn.
Literally no sound.
They didn't pay for
Not
that sound
even
design.
feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off, all the while a sound in the background, very slowly growing from nothing to barely audible.
Oh shit.
It sounded like a slight breeze through a forest.
Y'all hear that? Is that in the
The
background?
screen slowly begins
The
to zoom in on
breeze.
his face. His sobbing gets louder. More full
Just
of
like me.
hurt and anger. The screen then twitches a bit, as if it twists on itself.
Like right
For
now.
a split second, then back to normal. Squidward's sobbing sounded real.
Oh.
As if the sound wasn't coming from the speakers, but as if the speakers were holes that the sound was coming through the other side.
What the fuck does that even mean? What did he
I
say?
don't this man speaking fast.
He said it sounded like the sound wasn't coming from the speakers, but instead the speakers were like fucking teleporters.
He's probably smoking that SpongeBob
Instead of
doobie.
sound as the studio likes to have, they don't purchase the equipment to be that good to produce sound of that quality.
What does that mean? It's fucking Nickelodeon. They have the money to fucking purchase expertise speakers.
This time, the photo was that of what appeared to be a little girl, no
What?
older than the first child.
What child?
She was laying on her stomach.
I don't even know.
Her barrettes in a pool of blood next to her. Her left eye was too popped out.
Was this SpongeBob still?
She was naked except for underwear.
What? Yo.
Her entrails were piled on top of her, above another crude cut along her back. Again, the body was on the street and the photographer's shadow was visible. Very similar in
Is it
size
still
and
part of the
shape
show,
at
though?
first. I had to
I
choke
think
back
so.
vomit, and one intern, the only female in the room, ran out.
Pussy.
The show resumed.
It is still in the show.
Let the show go on.
About 5 seconds after this second photo played, Squidward went silent. His sobbing was mixed with screams.
Just like me
Tears
when I
and
take a
blood were
shit.
dripping down his face at a heavy rate. The wind sound came back, and so did the deep-voiced laughter. And this time, the still photo lasted for a good 5 frames.
The Arbiter's back.
The animator was able to stop
That's an
back and
elite.
forth and backed up. This time, the photo was of a boy. About the same age, but this time the scene was different. The entrails were just being pulled out from a stomach wound by a
Ooh.
large hand. Then the shot quickly panned out.
That was
and
a fast
deep
3
voice
seconds.
Said,
Do it.
you could see in Squidward's hand a shotgun. He immediately put the
A
gun in his
shotgun?
mouth and pulled the trigger.
Oh,
Blood and brain matter
shit.
splattered all over the wall behind him and his bed as he flies back with the force.
That shit was epic. All right. From A to F, what would you rank it?
It's like a D tier, bro. I don't know.
I think it was kind of, I think it might have been somewhat believable, but then at a point it did get kind of cringe.
Yeah, it's just like there's some plot points that just kind of get ridiculous.
Yeah, I give that a D. Let's call the suicide hotline while we're here, though.
I've been on the low, been taking my time. Like I was out of my mind.
All right, here's a classic, The Rake.
Ooh,
You ever
The
heard of
Rake,
this?
yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, classic.
During the summer of 2003, events in the northeast
Damn, that was the year after I was born.
That's I was what 4? 2003? Yeah.
That's crazy.
eastern United States involving a strange, human-like creature sparked brief local media interest before an apparent blackout was enacted.
That's the human-like creature.
Facts.
Little or no information was left intact, as most online and written accounts of the creature were mysteriously destroyed. Primarily focused in the rural New York state, self-proclaimed witnesses
This motherfucker has like hella spit in his fucking voice. He's like, yeah,
told stories
Do you not hear it? Like-
Yeah, no, I hear it. Yeah.
Emotions ranged from extremely traumatic levels of fright and discomfort to an almost childlike sense of playfulness and curiosity. While their published
I literally heard him go.
While their published versions are no longer on record, the memories remain powerful, and several of the involved parties began looking for answers that year.
He sounds like he's doing
In
a
early
Joker impression.
2006, the collaboration had accumulated nearly 24 documents dating
Joker.
between the 12th century and present day, spanning 4 continents. In almost all cases, the stories were identical. I've been in contact with a member of the group and was able to get some excerpts from their upcoming book.
The hell? Props?
And go. A suicide note.
Why is he turning the page? What the fuck?
1964.
I think he's trying to.
As I prepared
I
to
think he's
take my
trying to
life,
like live
I
action
feel
role
it
play this.
necessary to assuage my
That's kind of whack. I ain't
pain
gonna
that
lie.
I've introduced through this act. It is not the fault of anyone other than him.
Yeah,
What
why
do
is
you
it? Why is the page turning?
And,
Yeah, I don't know.
and there's
Oh, that's the real spooky.
at the foot of the bed, sitting and
Oh,
facing away from
Here
us,
we go.
there was what appeared to be a naked man, or a large.
That was you,
hairless
Chris.
dog of some sort. Its body position was disturbing and unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something.
Damn.
For some reason, I was not instantly frightened by it, but more concerned as to its condition.
What? What? You picture this, Chris. You're at your bed. You wake up. Oh, you see something at the foot of your bed. It's a naked guy who looks kind of like you, except he's been hit by a car. Would you not be frightened first, and would you first be concerned about his health and well-being?
I mean, usually every morning when I wake up, I'm bricked up, so I don't know. Maybe I would. Maybe I would.
Maybe you would care for this naked car-strucken man instead of be scared that you see this at the foot of your bed.
Oh yeah, no, I'd be a little tripping though if it was at the foot of my bed and I woke up and be like, who the hell are you? You know, like naked.
This is what this bro
A
said.
large, hairless dog of some sort. Its body position was disturbing and unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something. For some reason, I was not instantly frightened by it, but more concerned as to its condition.
Of course.
At this point,
Nah,
I
I'd
was
be like,
somewhat
get the
under
fuck
the
out my
assumption
room.
that I was supposed to help him. My husband was peering over his arm and
Oh, this is a woman
tucked
talking.
into the
Of
old
course,
position,
it makes sense.
occasionally glancing at me before returning to the creature. In a flurry of motion, the creature scrambled across the side of the bed, and then crawled quickly in a flailing sort of motion right along the bed until it was less than a foot from my husband's face. The creature was completely silent for about 30 seconds, or probably closer to 5. It just seemed like a while.
Bitch, which one is it?
Just looking at my husband, the creature then placed its hand on his knee
Oh,
and ran into the hallway leading to the kids' room.
what?
I screamed and ran for the light switch, planning to stop him before he hurt my children.
Clearly, you should have done that shit once you saw him.
Mesmerized by the
hallway,
naked man.
The light from the bedroom was enough to see it crouched and hunched over about 20 feet away. He turned around and looked directly at me, covered in blood. I flipped the switch on the wall and saw my daughter Clara.
I just flipped the
The
switch.
creature ran down the stairs while my husband and I rushed to help our daughter. She was very badly injured and spoke only once more in her short life.
Oh,
She said, "He is the rake."
What?
My husband drove his
The rakist.
car into the lake that night while rushing our daughter to the hospital. He did not survive.
what? Who did not survive? Wait, run that
Being
back.
Daughter.
assaulted, my husband drove his car into the lake that night while rushing our daughter to the
Oh.
hospital. He did
Oh,
not survive.
so she didn't go with them, and then he fucking drove his car into a lake and then killed himself, basically. But why didn't she go with them if that was the case?
I don't know. Shit's just kind of getting confusing now.
Many instances where the creature's visit was one of a series of visits with the same person. Multiple people also mentioned being spoken to, my daughter included. This led us
motherfucker
to wonder
talks.
if the rake had visited any of us before our last encounters. So I set up a digital recorder near my bed and left it running all night, every night, for 2 weeks. I would tediously
That doesn't seem like
scan
that
through
long.
the sounds of me rolling around in bed each day when I woke up. By the end of the second week, I was quite used to the occasional sound of sleep while blurring through the recording at 8 times the normal speed. It still took about an hour every day. But on the first day of the third week, I thought I heard something different. What I found was a shrill voice.
What does shrill mean?
Like maybe like a whisper. That's what I'm
Like raspy?
assuming.
See, having a loud and high sound that is unpleasant or painful to listen to.
Okay, never mind. Like SpongeBob.
Right.
It was the rake.
What? Hold on, run that back, Turbo.
It was a shrill voice. It was the rake. I can't listen to it long enough to even begin to transcribe it.
So she didn't even
I haven't
see
let
it.
anyone listen to it yet.
She just heard it.
She just heard it and then knew it was the fucking rake.
Well,
Said, yeah, that's him for real.
How does she know though? Like what?
Yeah.
How does she know what a rake sounds like?
Heard it
I don't know
before.
what the only rake I know is the fucking garden tool.
It spoke when it was sitting in front of my husband.
Oh,
I don't remember hearing anything at the time, but for some reason the voice on the recorder immediately brings me back to that moment. The thoughts that must have gone through my daughter's head make me very upset.
very upset.
I
Oh.
have not seen...
I am livid.
These are white people. Anyway, basically the rake pulls up, goes to the kids, say, yo, I'm the fucking rake, stabs them and dips.
That sounds like to me.
F. This is dog shit. Isn't even creepy? The story was poo poo caca. I'm giving that a fucking F.
That's the shit that got me shivering in my bed
Well,
late
what,
at night.
what about you? What are you saying about it?
No, it's an F. That's 100%. I can't justify that.
That was poo poo
Terrible.
caca. We'll rush through this. Sonic.exe. Do you remember this trend?
They made like a little game out of it too. I
Yeah,
remember.
there was also multiple other games that had the .exe thing, which was trend basically saying that it was fucked up. Obviously, it was a creepypasta, but I think they would typically be like, this fucking game cartridge is possessed by Satan. So it fucked up the game.
Yes.
I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan,
Oh, yeah.
much like everyone else. I like the new.
Everybody in the world is a Sonic fan.
It started on a nice summer afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I like how
A
you get
classic.
to explore the towns.
That is a good one.
Until I
Favorites.
noticed, out of my peripheral vision, that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox as usual. The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Kyle.
Oh, wow. Kyle.
I hadn't heard from in 2 weeks.
That's so long. Jesus, bro. If I don't talk to my friends for 2 weeks, that's like 5-10 years. He said it as in like it was fucking like I haven't talked to him since elementary school.
A millennia. It's all good.
I know that because I recognized his handwriting. Though what was weird is how it looked. It looked badly written and scratchy and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down and did it in a hurry.
I think Kyle's just retarded. Motherfucker can't write. He's like Andrew.
Kyle's that pack.
Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before.
I can't take it anymore, Tom. I gotta tell you, I'm gay. I like dudes.
He's after me.
Oh.
And if you don't destroy the CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me.
That's what they tell me in bed.
Bro, that shit's actually funny. He's too fast for me. And a lot of these EXE games would also be like, they would either get it, like they would get it through the mail, or like there'd be like an old lady at a yard sale and she would be like, nah, take it for free. And shit like that.
Yeah.
Destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too.
I'm
It's
gonna
too late
come.
for me. Destroy the disc.
He
and
sounds
you'll
like Darth
destroy
Vader.
him.
It is too late
Do it
for me,
quick.
my son.
Otherwise, he'll catch you.
I'm
Don't
about to
even
start
play the
crying.
game. It's what he
Emotional
wants.
scene.
Just destroy it. So many souls to play with. So little time. Would you agree?
Okay, I think if I remember, he's getting messages on the game.
I think so, yeah.
And
And then the
it's like a
game-
yes or no.
The game is slowly getting more distorted as well.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Just what is going on? I started to think Sonic was actually trying to talk to me through the game. But I was
Sonic,
too
no.
scared to think that. The second file box had Knuckles in the TV screen. His red fur had darkened to a reddish grey. His dreadlocks were dipped with blood, and his eyes were black.
Does Knuckles
and
have
bleeding
dreadlocks?
too.
I don't know if I'd call him that.
And he had a look of sadness on his
So yeah, I
face.
wouldn't say they're dreadlocks per se.
I began to think that those are the actual characters trapped inside those TV screens on the save files. I began to have the most disturbing nightmare. I was in pitch black darkness, though I was under the light given off by a lamp that hung high above my head. I could hear the cries of Knuckles and Tails nearby. They were saying stuff like, "Help us," and "Why did you give us to him?
Sorry, I don't know why that's
And-
funny, but
Run away.
this is
He
kind of
gets you
funny.
too."
Help us.
I think it's his
The cries
voice.
died out, as I then heard Sonic laugh. His laugh. It sounded a lot like the distorted Kefka laugh. "You're a lot of fun to play with, kid. Just
Oh?
like your friend Kyle.
Damn.
He didn't last long."
Told him, named him name by name y todo. Called him out.
Word for word.
He said, your friend Kyle was a pussy.
I was scared to look around for the
Like
voice.
you? I can tell you got
Won't
that
be long
doggy.
now until you join him. And
You might
all
last a
my
little bit more.
friends.
Your booty hole might last a little bit more.
I saw him walking towards me, flickering in and out in several directions. "You can't run, kid. You're in my world now."
I wish you did a voiceover of like, paid someone on Fiverr that does the Sonic voice like, yeah, chili dogs. You can't run, kid.
You're too
Imagine,
slow.
imagine,
too
yeah, you're too slow. Just imagine Sonic's voice saying all of this shit.
Yeah. Your friend Kyle couldn't run either.
Your friend Kyle, that guy didn't last long. A meme from Sonic that I always think of anytime I hear Sonic is this one.
Will you date
What
me?
the fuck?
Breathe, yes. Recite the Bible in Japanese is no.
はじめに神は天と地とを創造された。
What the?
地は形なく、虚しく、闇が淵の
Is
中
that
にあり、
actually the
神
Bible?
の霊が水の表を覆っていた。
Can you stop breathing too?
神は光あれと言われた。
I would have preferred you just beat me up and call me gay.
When he grabbed me, I saw
Oh.
his bleeding, black and red eyes, grinning face. I woke up with a fright. His grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the side of his
I'm
face.
assuming he's talking about
like
Sonic.
a Cheshire cat, except Sonic had fangs.
Oh.
Very sharp fangs. Much like the
Vampire
werewolf's
Sonic?
teeth, except more vicious looking,
Oh yeah, the werehog.
somewhat yellowish. And from the look of it, he had stains of blood and small bits of flesh on his lips and fangs.
You can just
As
see
if
that.
he ate some animal. I felt as if he was actually looking at me, smiling at me. That face.
Say
It just
cheese.
took 10 seconds for it to etch itself into my brain for good. They were forever trapped within the game, forever tormented by that horrid hedgehog, and always will be.
That horrid hedgehog.
Then the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on no matter what I did. I sat there for
Damn,
maybe
Sonic just
25
bricked his
seconds,
PC.
horrified by what had
Yo, I'd be
just
kinda mad.
happened. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He tortures people who play his game in more ways than one.
Through the
And
booty
then
hole.
The
What gets
microtransactions.
he drags you into the game. Literally drags you to hell, where he can play with you.
Alright,
He's
the
gonna
fucking
play with me.
Sonic was fucking crazy. He drags you into the game because he wants to eat your ass or something like that.
But he's not trapped into the game. He just his PC got
Just got bricked. And now he's out of some money now. But you know what? The story, it's not great nowadays. It's all very cliche.
yeah.
I would still give it a C though.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, you know, when you're younger, it's like a lot more suspenseful because you never read something like this. But
Yeah. And I mean, these creepypastas specifically are really fucking old.
yeah,
The writing is real outdated.
yeah, it's mid tier.
But it had some things that I think were kind of cool, even now with like Sonic raping kids or something like that.
What the fuck? I remember when I was younger. Actually, I got into that creepypasta a lot, and actually used to scare me a little bit.
It definitely scared me too. And I remember when they even made the game for it. Like I remember watching YouTubers play it, and I was truly scared.
Like I think after you beat the game too, like you just see like a picture of Sonic saying "I am God."
Yeah. And then it crashes the game. I
Yeah,
remember.
it's all spooky and shit.
It was decent. It was but definitely better than Squidward Suicide and the book. Gateway of the Mind, which I am pretty sure I remember, but I don't
Gateway
fully
of-
remember.
Gateway of the Mind. I don't remember this one.
I think this is like a sleep experiment of staying awake.
Interesting.
This one seems believable.
Right.
If I could remember from back in the day, that I remember this one, especially with this video being creepy as fuck. This one did spook me late nights.
In 1983, a team of deeply pious scientists
It's the Joker.
conducted a radical experiment in an undisclosed
Joker.
facility. The scientists had theorized that a man without access to any senses or ways to perceive stimuli would be able to perceive the presence of God. To purge him of all his senses, the scientists
Look, he's
performed
putting
a
on some
complex
hair.
operation in which every sensory
He's
nerve
Donald
connected
Trump.
to the brain was
What the fuck?
surgically severed. Although the test subject retained full muscular
Is he
function,
bleeding?
he could not see hear,
Yeah,
taste,
yeah.
smell, or feel.
They basically cut off all his food
No
senses.
possible way to communicate with or even sense the outside world. He was alone with his thoughts. 2 days later, the man cried that he could hear his dead wife speaking with him, and even more, he could communicate back. After a week of conversing with the deceased through his thoughts, the subject became distressed, saying the voices were overwhelming. In every waking moment, his consciousness was bombarded by hundreds of voices that refused to leave him alone. He started having severe night terrors.
Damn.
The subject
Where
repeatedly
does this get
said
this
that
background video
he
from?
could see and hear the deceased
So I'm
in
wondering.
his dreams. Only a day later, the subject began to scream and claw at his non-functional eyes, hoping to sense something in the physical world. The hysterical subject now said the voices of the dead were deafening and hostile, speaking of hell and the end of the world. At one point he yelled, "No heaven, no forgiveness," for 5 hours straight. He
Damn.
continually
No water?
begged to be killed, but the scientists were convinced that he was close to establishing a contact with God.
Ooh.
After another day, the subject could no longer form coherent sentences. Seemingly mad, he started-
he couldn't form a coherent sentence anymore. Never my
Oh.
life.
Like, lifestyle.
The scientists rushed to the test chamber and restrained him to a table so he could not kill himself.
Oh, he said,
After a
"Fuck
few
it."
hours of being tied down, the subject halted his struggling and screaming. He stared blankly at the ceiling as teardrops silently streaked across his face. For 2 weeks, the subject had to be manually rehydrated due to the constant crying.
Oh,
Eventually, he
I wonder
turned
how you
his
do that.
head and, despite his blindness, made focused eye contact with the scientist for the first time in the study. He whispered, "I have spoken with God, and he has abandoned us." And his vital signs stopped. There was no apparent cause of death.
dang. He said, "Yo, God, help me," and God said, "Kill yourself." So he did.
I actually like that one.
It was nice. It was short. It was sweet.
So you have an S tier, right?
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
S, A, B. So I'm gonna give that one a B.
I'm gonna give it an A. I liked it.
Have you ever seen that one meme? It's like Jigsaw. He's like, "Your balls have been covered
Oh
in milk
yeah,
before you lies a KFC deep fryer."
yeah.
It's the one on the side. That one right there. The second one. Yeah.
As you notice, your balls have been covered in milk and breadcrumbs before you lie as a KFC deep fry. As you notice, your balls have been
A classic.
Been drowned in alcohol.
He just like beef for real. He's Ben. Oh no, he's Ben. Get away from the water. Oh, he can't hear me. He has his AirPods in. No, Ben.
Jerusalem follows up the very next day on 4chan, posting that he had a dream the night before about the Elegy of Emptiness statue following him. Early in the day, he went back to the old man's house where he was given the copy of Majora's Mask.
Yeah, this one classic old man. I think this old guy was outside. He said, "Hey, youngin, you want this copy of Majora's Mask for free?"
Free
And
charge.
he said, "Of course, sir. I will take it off your hands."
No
I don't know,
one was
man. If
home,
someone's
but a
offering me
neighbor was
something
outside
free out of
on the
nowhere,
last lawn.
I don't know if I'd take it.
But it's an old man. What harm
He
could he
had
do?
no family living
I
with
don't-
him,
you don't know
and
if he
no
cursed that
grandchildren
thing.
the neighbor was aware of.
He put some juju on that
was the
bitch.
case, who was
Facts.
Ben? Jaduzabal asked. The man's expression turned grim, and I learned that 4 doors down, around 8 years ago, on April 23rd, there was an accident with a young boy named Ben in the neighborhood. Shortly
Yeah.
after, his
That boy
parents
drowned.
moved, and despite any further attempts to talk to the man to get more information, he wouldn't divulge anything else. Another shift occurred, placing Jaduzabal outside with 3 characters, including the statue and vendor. He tried to solve the situation by selecting the magic instrument and playing a spell called the Song of Healing, which only resulted in Link bursting into flames.
What the
The
fuck?
scene shifted to a new location, with Link wearing a mask that turned him into a sort of mermaid. His horse
That's who never played fucking Majora's Mask.
No, he's saying this cursed file is
Yeah, yeah,
what
but he's like the next scene. It cuts to Link, and he uses a mask that turns him into some kind of fucking mermaid. That's
Oh
not
yeah,
what they're
Zora,
fucking
yeah.
called.
Yeah, they call Zorons, but still.
selecting the magic instrument and playing a spell called the Song of Healing, which only resulted in
Magic
Link bursting
instrument,
into
yeah, it's an
flames.
ocarina.
The scene shifted to a new location with Link wearing a mask that turned him into a sort of mermaid.
This motherfucker
His
never
horse was
played
reacting to the
Zelda.
ocean with fear,
Yeah, I
a
could
clear
tell.
indication that something was out there, underwater, where the Elegy of Emptiness statue sat on the ocean floor. After lights began to flash on the statue, Link began drowning in mermaid form.
Oh damn!
Upon returning to the file selection screen,
How you
a
drown
new
in
piece had been
mermaid form?
added directly under Ben. A game saved under the title, Drowned. I've stayed up all night. I can't sleep. I don't care if people see this. That's not the point. I just want the word to get spread so I don't suffer for nothing. I've lost the will to type about this.
Bro's
unless as
clout
well as
chasing.
better. I think the video just speaks for itself.
He's a
I
clout
did what you
chaser.
guys told me to do. I played the Elegy of Emptiness
You're
song
nothing
at the
but a
first
hater,
offer
hater,
I was
clout
given,
chaser.
But I think that's what the game or Ben wanted me to do. He's following me now. Not just in the game. He's in my dreams. I
Bruh.
see him all the time, behind my back, just watching me. It spoke to me. Talked to me. It referenced Ben. It talked to me. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it wants. The accompanying video shows Jaduzable playing the Elegy of Emptiness, after which every encounter that can result in a text prompt says the same thing. You shouldn't have done that.
Damn.
Jaduzable tries many different actions, all resulting
Ben
in
want
the
the
same
smoke.
phrase until the screen goes black and a new message appears. Ben is getting lonely.
Yo, that's kind of sexual at best.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ben's about to call you up at 2 in the morning and be like, hey, you up? What you wearing?
Ben, what a bus.
Former roommate. Jaduzable had moved out after a very rough start to college life. It had barely begun before he packed up and headed home, and although his roommate didn't quite understand why he was staying in his room all the time, barely eating, and just not talking, he is finally beginning to put things together. I tried talking to him several times, but he would cut me off or keep the conversation brief when I asked him about his strange behavior. It was like he was convinced something was haunting him and told me that he's getting away from here, that it lured him to play it again instead of trying to change things, that he shouldn't have done that, and to upload the footage and inform people what happened. I told him that he could do it himself, and he got this wild look in his eye and told me that he is never looking at that game again. And that's the last thing he said to me. He never even said bye when his parents came to pick him up. The truth.txt will be released on September 15th, just like he requested.
Why was he waiting to release the truth at a specific fucking date? That's
'Cause,
fucked up. Bro wanted more clicks on the YouTube videos.
It's the clout. It's part of the clout.
Blood's a clout chaser.
You gotta make the suspense. Like, oh, what's gonna happen?
Oh God.
What we gonna see? What's Ben gonna do?
No.
Who
I
was
haven't
Ben?
tried
Is
calling
Ben
him
gonna
yet.
drown?
I think I'll give him a call tomorrow to see if he's okay or not. He should have gotten back
Ben's an
home by
alcoholic.
now.
Ben's drowning in his
The final
sorrows.
video actually starts off a bit more normally than we're used to. Jaduzable plays the game through as Link, and everything is going smoothly until he checks his inventory. Inside, he finds a picture of the mask vendor and the Elegy of
That's
Emptiness.
adorable. Look at that selfie.
I know, they're cheesing.
Creature teaches him the song to summon the Elegy of Emptiness statue. After playing, the statue appears, and Jaduzable is left to fight a monster while trapped against a wall. He doesn't stand a chance. The monster approaches and cuts him to pieces with a loud, violent
Damn, he just
slash.
one-shotted him.
Link dies, and the scene cuts to black, leading to this.
The Padre.
Could have sworn driving back from Subway that I saw the Elegy statue buried in some shrubbery staring at me go by. Now I definitely need sleep. 6 p.m. Connected my capture card to my computer to upload the footage. Thought my computer froze for a second. Made this strange popping sound when I hooked everything up.
Ben's about to brick his computer too.
I suppose I'm partially to blame because I'm the genius who chose to live in a single. This means that Matt never had a roommate for his dorm. He's been alone the entire time. Who uploaded the final post then? I'll give you just one guess. Readers were at a loss for how to proceed from here. Ben was free, and all along he had more power than anyone realized. Thankfully, activity opened up on September 17th, beginning with coded messages on Jaduzable's YouTube activity log. Deciphering the codes led readers to a website, You Shouldn't Have Done That.net. This was an operations and communications base for members of the cult, and though information has been lost after the site went down, early investigators did manage to save a good amount of material. According to the homepage, the Moon Children consider themselves Luna's
I don't remember this
chosen,
part.
who will be the sole
Must
survivors
skipped
of
it.
the coming apocalypse, and they possess extraordinary powers of spiritual energy. Immediately below the welcome text, we can spot posts from moderators that let us know the site is brand new. 3 of these mods have pictures wearing masks, and the Moon
Neko,
Children say they've been active for a while.
Is that MF Doom? This fool was moderated. The Ben Drown website. Hey, yo, Chris.
What?
Hey, Cousins, Chris.
Hey, don't expose me.
You was moderating this shit.
That's my secret identity, Neko.
Neko? No ma, I knew it. So glad to finally back with my true family, MF Doom and this guy. Oh, damn, no wonder you stopped talking about it. Look, unfortunately, I'm not gonna be a mod for much longer. My ascension date is coming up real soon. He finally told me when it was going to be, and it's tomorrow. Damn, you ascended, Chris?
Yeah. So basically, what I meant by that is my penis grew larger.
In 2010, how old are you?
Yeah, 11.
Okay,
I was
so
11.
at 11, you hit that puberty, and that's what you were talking about, ascension.
Exactly. Ah, yes. I remember it like it was yesterday.
I remember like it was 13 years ago.
3 of these mods have pictures wearing masks, and the Moon Children say they've been active for a while.
The
Their
MF Doom
site and
mask.
limits in the traffic they're aware of. The mods mention an ascension date, which has been assigned to the second poster, Neko.
What's up? Hey, bro, you good?
Don't worry about it.
Oh my god, what the, are you ascending?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
This may be related to another moderator who posted next named Drowned and wrote, You shouldn't be reading this. Hovering over his avatar changed it to a picture of the elegy of emptiness.
You're freaking out. Your mic is going like.
Wait, it is?
The initiation creed also involves drawing blood from initiates before they can receive a mask and join the Moon Children.
Damn.
Another page marked Theories contains reoccurring theories on the end and has entries on Mayan, Hindu, and scientific ideas of the apocalypse.
I feel like you really have gotten away from Ben Drowned.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird now.
They break free of the prison, engulf the world. Man will be betrayed by its minions, and I will be brought down from the sky, consuming everything.
This is like the motherfucker origin Easter egg steps, bruh.
His story ultimately ends in tragedy with the release of a final video, last words, and a secret message that
Jesus fuck. So, what'd you get from that whole story?
Honestly, I can't even speak on it just because I feel like you need to actually watch the whole fucking story.
Yeah,
word
I got
for word.
super complex. But I feel like basically Ben Drowned. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ben Drowned.
I give that a. Clearly, the lore is so much more than I thought. I'm gonna give that an A. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I give it an A.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. I think it helps the channel. It really does. It's been your main man Ringo, and I'll see you guys in a better video. Bye. Later.
Peace.
Damn, bro. Fucking Ben Drowned. Ben Drowned on some pussy.
Facts. You just like me, bro. Just kidding.